Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sean Brodrick, senior editor at WeissRatings.com. Welcome back to the show, Sean, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Yes, down here in the States, we are having Thanksgiving on Thursday, so thanks very much.
I was going to say truncated turkey day.
Certainly gets truncated when they chop its head off, but yes.
Yes, it sure does.
I saw the most amazing video of this guy who has a pet turkey, and the turkey goes up and asks him for hugs. I didn't know turkeys would do that. I thought they'd be more bird brains like chickens, which are phenomenally stupid birds, or at least the ones I might have been. So, but apparently turkeys, not the ones that they raise for like Thanksgiving, but the ones that are more wild are quite smart birds. They have real personalities.
Sean, cannabis stocks, are they a bright and shining light out there?
Yeah, they are. And I've been kind of bullish on U.S. cannabis stocks for quite some time. Not so much on Canadian stocks, but I have to tell you, in the marijuana millionaire portfolio, which is the one we have here at Weiss Ratings, the Canadian stocks are leading the way higher today. And they were the ones that were beaten down the most. So part of this may be snapback, or else people really looking toward the future and thinking that in the next administration in the U.S., there might actually be an actual legalization. I think that's what we're seeing, is hope for that. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But also we saw some important states legalize marijuana here in the U.S., and there's more states that are actually coming up this year, because they kind of missed the boat and they know they need to be on it. So there's a lot of good stuff going on for that industry right now.
Have they realized as well governments need revenue, so why not tax something that people are already using?
Well, yeah. In fact, there's some lady, some mayor, I just read the headline. I didn't click through, but she says cannabis revenues saved her city, because of the economic collapse they had associated with the pandemic. They just wouldn't have been able to make it. But cannabis businesses are one of the few that were able to remain open, and they taxed those heavily. And so they actually got enough money to keep going. The problem is governments get too greedy, right? And so they should keep taxes on cannabis business low so that they can effectively compete with the black market. And if you raise them too high, the black market dealers love that, because then they become the low price option in town. Keep taxes low, and then the honest people can compete with the black market dealers, and then you actually end up with more tax revenue over the longer term.
I think the problem in Canada wasn't the legalization, it was the slow, poor rollout. The only province I think that did it right was Alberta, because they let private enterprise do it, whereas everybody else wanted government-approved stores and have really taken their time. Ontario, I think, still only has 25 legal pot stores for the most populous province in Canada.
Right, because they put people in charge of the rollout who don't like marijuana, who in fact actively disliked it, and so dragged their feet and put red tape every single which way they could. It was a terrible system, absolutely awful. And if I'd been in the marijuana business and I saw that happening, I would have raised holy hell up in Canada. That was just absurd. They seem to be coming around, actually putting people in charge of these things who will allow you to get the job done. So, that's a good move finally. So maybe that's one reason stocks up in Canada that are in the cannabis business are actually starting to see a real pickup as well.
Yeah, Bill Blair, the federal minister in charge of the rollout, I think is the former police chief of Toronto.
Yeah.
So So right there, you
Yeah.
can see the kind of attitude they would have towards cannabis. For
Right.
investors going forward, is there more medical news, more things coming out of cannabis, so it's more than just something that's going to alter your brain so you see things differently?
Well, yeah, I mean, we keep seeing, there was just a report out of England, as a matter of fact, about another medical study showing that it's really helpful for all sorts of diseases. The thing is, we've just barely scratched the surface because for so long, scientists couldn't research cannabis. They couldn't. It's a class 1 drug. It was illegal, and it just wasn't done. So now they're actually starting to do that research. We're going to have a lot more good stuff found out about it, about how it helps people, I think. I mean, there's no way to know for sure, right? I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but that's what we've seen so far is that when scientists can actually research it, they find out many, many ways that it helps people. And so, yeah, we are going to have a lot more of that.
And I'm seeing in Vancouver cannabis being prescribed for people hooked on opioids. I haven't seen anybody's death certificate list cannabis overdose, but we still have the opioid crisis, which is killing hundreds of people every month.
Yeah, well, there was one claimed case where they said someone died of cannabis overdose, but everyone generally agrees that claimant was full of horse hockey. So, yeah, I mean, it really, really is much safer than opioids. So you can see why people would make the switch. No old person wants to go to bed thinking they'll die because they misjudged their prescription medication. Prescriptions are hard enough to keep track of anyway, right? And if you get hooked on those opioids, and they are addictive, then you might need to feed that addiction, and that's just a date with disaster.
We'll have more with Sean Brodrick right after this.
Engineer Gold Mines is focused on the exploration and development of the historic high-grade Engineer Gold Mine situated 32 kilometers southwest of Atlan, British Columbia. Engineer Gold Mines is fully permitted for surface and underground exploration with the drill program now underway. Engineer Gold Mines Limited trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol EAU. For more information, please visit us at engineergoldmines.com.
Value from success. Growth in discovery. Golden Arrow Resources is a well-funded gold-copper exploration company with proven management and prospective properties in Chile, Argentina, and Paraguay. Golden Arrow trades on the Toronto Venture Exchange, symbol GRG, on Frankfurt, symbol G6A, and the OTCQB, symbol GARWF. For more information, visit us at goldenarrowresources.com or call Sean at 778-686-0135.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sean Brodrick. Sean, the shine has gone off gold over the last few days. Do we have any explanation for that?
There's risk coming up. I shouldn't say there's risk coming out of the market because people are actually turning towards stuff that's riskier now. People were really worried. They're less worried now. And so as they're less worried about things, they're owning less gold and they're rotating that money into things they think can actually ride the boom. One thing, and this is a real driver of it, is we have multiple vaccines coming out for the COVID-19 virus. And so now people are thinking 2021, we are going to see things really gear up because, spending was suppressed for so long. We've actually seen this in China. I mean, Chinese by the millions are traveling again, spending again, really helping that economy rebound. And so once we have a vaccine here in North America, because that's the only way we'll probably slow things down here because people refuse to cooperate with mask mandates and like that kind of thing. Once we have the vaccine, things are really going to take off. We'll see stuff shift into higher gear. And that's being anticipated in the markets now. And that's why, for example, I have one publication that normally focuses on gold and silver, but I'm putting a lot more industrial metals, energy stocks in there, and just focusing on that stuff because that's where the real momentum is nowadays.
Energy metals, how's Elon Musk's giant factory for the biggest battery factory in the world going? And will it be able to produce on time?
I don't know about his factory. They don't let me in, even when I stand at the door and cry.
Oh.
So, but it's only one of many factories like that being built around the world. Most of them are being built in China, and just the demand is huge. I mean, I think 12% of the cars that were sold in China in the last month were EV cars. You know, I mean, it's just a huge mega trend. And so it isn't just Elon Musk. People shouldn't just focus on him. They should focus on the bigger picture, which is enormous and getting bigger. I mean, it used to be EV cars was such a tiny, tiny slice of the market. Now in China, 12%, that's huge. So, that's the kind of, wave we have going. I'm actually doing it in my own portfolio. I'm recommending it to my subscribers in multiple services is to get aboard this EV megatrend. It is big and was suppressed for all of this year. So next year is really going to be big for it.
We'll have more with Sean Brodrick right after this.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, recycling trade publications, patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sean Brodrick. Sean, are you taking a look at small caps again? They've been dead for a couple of years.
Oh, but not lately, though. No. Now they're doing well. And again, it's the those are the ones that really suffered when there's a lockdown and stuff like that. So investors are starting to anticipate those are the ones that will do much better once things open up. And so that's why you're seeing the small caps look so lively recently. I think people should definitely be looking at small caps. And I think people should be looking at energy, steel, because here and abroad there's going to be so much demand for that because we're seeing public works projects. They should be looking at copper. They should be looking at banks. I mean, I just added the bank, I think 2 weeks ago, and that thing's just rip-roaring higher. So there's many ways. People have to stop thinking so defensively and think more offensively. What are you going to invest in when the economy is growing? We haven't seen that for a while, so I think people aren't in the mindset for that. But again, when you suppress activity for as long as this happens and relief comes, the natural thing to happen is for an economic mini boom, you know, for people to step outside and start spending money again. We aren't there yet. That's one thing we all need to be aware of. You know, we don't have the vaccine yet, and I encourage people to be very careful until we do have the vaccine. But Wall Street isn't waiting. Wall Street is already anticipating that coming out, and so the things that are moving higher now are probably in part of a longer term shift. So you should look at the market that way, not like it's only going up for 1 week and then stop, which is what we saw all summer, right? As like the money rotated around, it would go and look in one industry and then another and another, and you can see that happening. Now we're looking at more longer term things unfold, or at least that's the way I believe it is. And so we'll see things move up across the board. That said, I don't think gold is down for the count at all. I mean, we're still going to see free spending waves in the central banks of the world. You know, negative yielding debt is insane. The levels of that are just crazy. There's many good things for gold going on. It's just that we had a short-term rotation come out. That's fine. I don't think it's that much further to go before gold finds a bottom, before silver finds a bottom, and things gear up. One thing to keep in mind about silver is an industrial metal along with being a precious metal. As we see, especially China and Asia come back online and really gear up in 2021, silver has the potential to go a lot higher.
Sean, anything else we should be keeping an eye on right now?
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. I've actually been writing reviews of my services, planning to publish something next month, you know. I mean, I'm in a good spot right now. I'm really glad to be in cannabis stocks. This is a big long-term trend. I think people should definitely take a look at it if they aren't already. I think they should look at the EV market and energy metals that actually go into it. There's been suppression of mining in those areas for a long, long time. It's just really going to go higher. There's a lot of good things to be looking at. I'm feeling very optimistic about things now. I know people are like worried about things in the bigger sense, and in the longer term sense, I can absolutely understand having a big worry about things. But in the shorter term, with a vaccine on the horizon, now's the time to put some money to work, because that's exactly what Wall Street is going to do, and you want to anticipate that and just get ahead of that wave. And so that's what I would recommend.
Sean, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thanks. I had a great time.
My guest has been Sean Brodrick, Senior Editor at WeissRatings.com. If you have any questions for Sean or anybody else on our shows, you can send them to info@HowStreet.com. Our YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. Find us on Twitter @HowStreet. We're also on Facebook. I'm Jim Goddard. Thank you for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.